Advisor movements for week ending 23rd of July. A relatively subdued week this week. We only actually had net 20 losses. Now, one question I keep getting asked each week is, what does this number represent? Well, it represents a net loss to the industry. So it's not just exits, it's also those returning to the industry. So there's actually been a net outflow of 20 advisors this week. And that puts the other slides in context when I talk about losses and gains. Switch licensees, again, a flat week, only 5 switched licensees, and joined 0. So of those 5, a couple of switches. Shout out to Douglas and Lisa of Assurity Financial Planning. They're at Bustleton in Perth. They were moved from the MLC-owned Garvin to Mont Partners, and Stephen Shaw moved from Mercer to the Rod Bristow-owned Climb. Top gains for the week: Annex Wealth, new licensee, gained 6 advisors, Melbourne-based. Canaccord Genuity, the old Pattersons there in Perth, gained 3 advisors, an increase in 10 from their previous highs. Interprac, again, relatively flat, some continual movement going on in the Sequoia Financial Group model, of which Interprac is one licensee. So 2 advisors, and Mont Partners gained 2, the aforementioned Douglas and Lisa. Big losses for the week were Shaw and Partners. Now, I did have an asterisk next to that number. Basically, it's a cleanup. So a lot of administration staff removed from the FAR, a lot of senior executives such as Earl Evans, the CEO, who doesn't have face-to-face contact or retail advice contact anymore, has been removed from the FAR. Now, we do know, and this is a bit of a segue, we do know that a lot of the advisors on the register aren't actually advisors. Our estimation at Advisor Ratings, when we did a reconciliation of that, it's up to about 15%. So whilst we talk about 21,000 advisors, there's probably 2,000 to 2,500, 3,000 advisors that actually aren't practicing or should be on the FAR, just because of their capacity has changed in terms of administration roles. Lonsdale, IWF owned, lost 7. LRF nominees closed. So all 6 advisors there in terms of a cessation from the industry. Acumbo lost 5, continuing their downward trend, and EL&C Bello lost 3 advisors this week, all from the same family. The Helliers all left. Thought I'd revisit this slide, the trajectory. We're still going to stick with our number of 16,000 by the end of December, based on current conversations. Now, if we get to the 20,589 number at the end of December, that means 43 per week. Net losses from the industry. Obviously 20 this week is well below that, so that's a good sign. So let's keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that and see what the trend is going on post June year end or post financial year end, as people start to make decisions on their business. So we are still sticking to the 20,589 number. Quote of the week really comes from Adrian at Industry Fund Services. So I know that some in the industry have thought that the advent of the best interest duty and the code of ethics might see the end of a limited scope or intra-fund advice. We believe there's absolutely a place for it. Obviously, there is a debate going on in the industry around that. I know the government, with the introduction of the $300 cap limit to advise on early access to super, is very aware of limited scope advice. And I know it's something that AMP and IWF are looking at in terms of a new offering out to Australians. And it's something that we're keeping an eye on, obviously, in terms of scaled advice or limited scope advice. It's something that's reared its head in the UK recently, in terms of being able to get people more into or giving people access to affordable advice. So that's it for the week. Again, brought to you by our campaign that's running. Please go to the site, togetheraustralia.com, get involved in any which way you can. It's been a really, really good start the first 3 weeks. Thank you.